on another video, and this one is, are we in a recession? There's a debate on what a recession is and how a recession is basically formed, and how we are not in a recession, we are in a pre-recession now, that's a new word, and we are not in or we are in a recession, sorry. So I like to go over all the stuff that, in my opinion, this is my opinion, and I'm trying not to be going into political wise, but you can sort of hear in a general tone what I'm thinking a recession is, or what a recession is. A recession used to be called, and I still think it is, a two negative quarters on the GDP. So that is the definition, a two downturn of a recession. But we are hearing people, and we can see this is the administration, and we can listen to this right here. Let's listen.
That doesn't sound like a recession to me. Thank you very much.
So a lot of people are commenting about that, saying, wow, this is, the administration's denying this. And of course they're going to deny it because they are in charge of the economy right now, and no one wants to admit that stuff is going on, that things are having problems. We are having issues with the economy right now. So no one wants to have that that target on their back, basically saying, well, this is what's going on, there's a recession. So we can see on the comments, and this is the one I really like to, I'm not trying to get into all these other comments here, but we can read in this comment, basically, if you review the past recessions, it's currently, the unemployment would be a lot higher. This is what this comment is saying. John M. He's basically saying that a recession, we should have a negative GDP and unemployment should be high. And that is technically what recessions have been and are, because when the GDP goes down, everything goes down, the economy starts dropping, we're seeing stagnation onto the economy. We can see unemployment going up. That is actually true. But this is the thing that we have to realize. What was the biggest recession? Well, that was a depression. That was the Great Depression. Now, the Great Depression, well, let's go into it. Let's Google it. Let's Google, oh, wrong one. Let's Google. The Great Depression was in 1929. And a lot of people don't realize there's a lot of things that turned around onto the Great Depression. And the Great Depression unemployment was 24%. So 24%. And that was in 1933. That's what they're saying. They did a tally in 1933. And honestly, when you go into what we look at for unemployment is when they're collecting unemployment. So a person in the United States, if they are counted towards unemployed, they are collecting a check from the unemployment office. And the unemployment office was not created until, we will go until 1935. So this right here, 1933, was not really even accurate data. If we took that data today, we bring that data in, and 24.9, almost 25%. That is not a actual data that the presidents or the media would be putting out today. They would say that is technically not the right data. We don't know what the data was because the unemployment was not created back then. The unemployment was created in 1935. Interesting. But we have to realize when people are not collecting the unemployment check, they're still people out there that are not, they're still not making money, they're still unemployed, and there was a lot of people that are basically having a problem. Uh, they are on Social Security, and you can be on Social Security, for instance, a federal Social Security for disability, and that's not unemployed. You're not unemployed. You can be on welfare, and that's another thing. Welfare, you are not unemployed on that one. Now, Social Security disability, you'd say, yeah, well, they shouldn't be technically in the working class anymore because they are disabled because they cannot work. And that's, I would say, yes, I agree with you on that. That is really, really true. There's a website, and I love going to this website, the Shadow Government. And this is where the old data, we can see old data, what they originally started, the government started, and then politics sort of swayed into, well, we can't really talk about that. We can't really mention about that because that looks really bad for the administration at that time. And I bring that up because Republicans and Democrats sway the data wherever they want to be. Both parties have that, and they sit there and they feed on what the data is supposed to be to make themselves look better or to make the other party look worse. And let's go. We can see the unemployment here, and I already got zoomed in here. I'm not a member of this website. I sort of want to be a member. Right now, money's tight in our area too, so I'm not going to be a member. But we can see the unemployment rate. This is the red line. So the red line here is the unemployment of people who are collecting unemployment. So that's what the data we are right now originally talking about. And the funny thing is, go back right here, 2008. 2008 was the Great Recession. Everyone talks about that. We're saying like, oh, well, 2008, we won't see the unemployment going up. Well, that was pretty bottom. If you look at the data, it was very bottom. Now, if you look at the shadow one, and this is the data is basically saying that these are people that are actually, they can work, these people can actually do jobs, they are unemployed, but they're not collecting a check. They're not collecting a unemployment check. We can see it's been stagnant, and it went down a little bit, and we were at like a 20% right there. It went down, and then it shot up at 35%. Now, 35%, that is what this data is showing. The U6, and this is an interesting thing, U6 was the original government one that they were originally using in the beginning. Now they're using a U3, and that basically only takes it from the unemployment data. The U6 was the original one in the beginning. So you could say the U6 would be the actual data from the Great Depression right here. So let's go back, and I hate when I say so many times, and that was, and we can see right where the market crashed in the 2020, where COVID hit. We were at 20%. We were almost right in a depression. The definition of a depression, get this, I Googled that, and definition of depression is not termed. They haven't figured out a definition of a depression, but the definition of a recession is 2 quarters of a downturn. So, are we in a recession? I would say yes. And the reason why I would say yes, because all the data is showing, coming out, bringing out, I'm seeing sales, retail sales are slowing down. And people are saying, well, no, why are we seeing record high profit or record high revenue onto Apple? Well, that one's a strange one to say, but I don't know why. I'm not understanding why that one would be, why people would be buying phones. Now, we have to realize that there is a lot of people are holding back on their money, and they are holding back on the spending. What we have to realize too, on this boom, a lot of it is starting to drop back down. Like what's going to happen? It's just like a ripple into the market. When something explodes and it's going up really, really high, we can see it starting to go down and then it starts to consolidate. And I think that's where we're at. We're in a consolidation mode, and we will be seeing probably in 2023 where we're going to see a recession that's going to be the unemployment's going to have the effect. Because look at this, 2008, the market was fine. On the unemployment was not delaying. It was in 2009, you can see it going up. And why I'm bringing that up is we are almost in the burr months. And I say that because the burr months are a big, huge deal. You have Christmas, you have October, November, and December. Those are big, huge retail months, and those basically have a tons of sales going on. Those are the Christmas months. And when those Christmas months occur, a lot of retail, a lot of companies are always hiring. They're putting more money into the market. They're putting more money into inventory. So that is the reason why we are seeing not the unemployment going up, but we see the unemployment just stagnant. Now, I think the unemployment after the burr months, after December next year, I think then we will see the unemployment starting to go up. That is when people are going to say, whoa, holy, we are in a definitionally of a recession. But these data is going to be, it's a slow stagnant. So back to this guy's comment. The unemployment doesn't seem like it's at all-time high, or it's not going up higher. And that's actually true. What he's saying is actually true. While I'm seeing the data, I cannot say, oh, no, it's not. But we have to realize a lot of this data, too, is not actually the correct data. So correct me if I'm wrong. My kid's crying in the upstairs. Sorry about that. But are we in a recession? Comment below. Like it. If we're not in a recession, definitely tell me why we're not in a recession and why you feel that we're not in a recession. Because I think we are in a recession, but we are lacking on the data. We are lacking on all this stuff. And I think that we will be seeing all this data next year. Honestly, I think it's going to be next year we'll be seeing all this unemployment coming back into the market. So, thanks and peace out.